Hello, everyone. Welcome to our live panel tonight for the Teacher Leader Certificate with EdTechTeam Online. We're really excited to have you guys all joining us tonight.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our live panel.
Uh-oh, got some noise coming from somewhere. So thank you for joining us. You'll see the chat on the side of the event, and you can go ahead and ask questions there, introduce yourself, tell us who you are, where you are. And if you have questions throughout, we'll be monitoring the Hangout and the chat to answer those questions. So welcome, I'm Tracy Purdy, and I'm the Director of Online Learning for the EdTech team. Previously, I was a 4th grade teacher and a 6th grade teacher, first in Basalt, Colorado, then in Edina, Minnesota. I taught for about 13 years, then I moved into a digital learning specialist for a few years after that, and then within the last year, moved to EdTechTeam. And the first thing that we really worked on was this Teacher Leader Certificate. It was something that I was really, really passionate about and really excited, so thank you guys so much for joining us to hear about it. We also have Dominique Dines on the call with us. I'll let her introduce herself to you guys.
Hi, everyone. As Tracy said, I'm Dominique Dines. I live in Guadalajara, Mexico. I've been down here for 10 years, originally from Minnesota, but I've been teaching down here. I taught 4th grade and then 6th grade, and so now I'm a part of the EdTechTeam Online program, and we're super excited to be talking tonight about the Teacher Leader Certificate. So welcome.
Thanks, Dominique. So we have 3 guests from previous cohorts of the Teacher Leader Certificate, and I'm going to have them introduce themselves quickly. Pam, do you want to start?
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Pam Lewis. I'm the 21st Century Learning and Innovation Specialist for School District 49 in Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Awesome. Thank you. And Ryan?
Hey, everybody. My name is Ryan Clark. I'm a middle school health teacher and digital learning specialist in White Bear Lake, Minnesota.
Fantastic. And Shelley?
Hi, I'm Shelley Emsley, and I'm a 5th grade teacher at a rural school in Big Fork, Montana for the last 19 years.
Fantastic. Thank you guys so much. So what we're going to do is we just want to share a little bit about the program and talk about the Teacher Leader Certificate so that people have any questions they can get answered tonight and really understand what the program is. So to start, I will just go ahead and tell you guys what the Teacher Leader Certificate is. The Teacher Leader Certificate is a set of 6 different courses that were built with you guys in mind to make sure that you can become teacher leaders and really understand how to lead in your classrooms. We wanted to build a set of courses that would focus on empowering you as an educator and inspiring you to become a leader in your classroom. This cohort includes 6 different courses, as I said, that we feel are really, really essential for teachers in the classroom these days. And those classes, those 6 courses are Global Collaboration and Community, Project-Based Learning, Flipped and Blended Learning, Visual Literacy, Assessment, and Redesigning the Learning Space. Each course is 15 hours, and you have 2 weeks to complete that course. So within those 2 weeks, you'll have about 7.5 hours each week, and that 7.5 hours is broken up into reading, to connecting with cohort members, to sharing what you're learning in either our Google Plus community or on Twitter. And it's also about creating projects and authentic learning experiences for your classroom. So what you're learning should be applied into your classroom directly, right away. Making sure that you're creating things that are useful. We don't want you to be just writing papers. So you'll be creating lessons that you can use with your students or within your classroom or school right away. So each course as well is connected to the EdTechTeam Honeycomb. If you haven't seen the EdTechTeam Honeycomb before, the Honeycomb is, it has all of these different elements: empowering teachers, inspiring students, and each of our courses is connected to one element of the EdTechTeam Honeycomb. We really feel at the EdTech team that these are the components that are necessary for school change and real impact. And so each course will help you to focus on one of those elements on the honeycomb. So our next, I did go over this before, just that the courses, once again, the format, it's 6 courses, 15 hours, 2 weeks per course, 7.5 hours of work, 90 hours total. And there are an optional 6 graduate credits. They are an additional $330, $55 per credit from Adams State University. But it's a great way to get those continuing education hours or to move up on the pay scale with getting these graduate credits. The platform, I didn't say this before too, is Course Builder. So you'll be engaging in Course Builder, and all of the courses are built there, and each course will open every 2 weeks. And all of your learning will happen right there. So as we move forward, I would love to have some of our guests share a little bit about their experience with the Teacher Leader Certificate.
So,
I'll jump in.
Awesome, thanks, Pam. Yeah, so we're just wondering, why should educators take the Teacher Leader cohort?
I was just going to say, so being a person who delivers professional development to teachers on a daily basis in different formats, what I really loved about it was that there was something for everybody. So it's hard for me to find professional development that's truly meaningful sometimes. And I was actually a little apprehensive about taking the course, but once I got into it and I realized that we weren't just going to go, you know, a mile wide and an inch deep, we were going to do the exact opposite of that. And I was going to be able to explore some of the tools and ideas that I haven't been able to dig too deeply into before. I was psyched. So the fact that there's something for everybody, even people who are administrators and whatever I am, a coach, a tech person, depending on the day, is awesome.
Yeah, that's great. And did you feel that you were able to share with your teachers as well, Pam?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think I have a few teachers even taking the summer course.
Oh, awesome.
Because I did nothing but brag about how awesome it was and how much I could just, you know, take and use immediately in my learning space.
Great. I don't know, Shelley or Ryan, do you have anything to add about your experience with the Teacher Leader Certificate?
Yeah, so I think.
Yeah,
Go ahead. No, by all means, go ahead.
Go ahead, Shelley.
Okay, so I was talking earlier to Tracy, and I said it was so hard to narrow it down because literally every single time you logged on, you had a new nugget of resource. And it was like if you give a moose a muffin, because that one led to that one, and then another one, and another one. And it just went so deep. And then the other thing was I actually played some of the Google Hangouts with my kids. And I showed my students what I had learned the night before, and then we implemented it immediately in class the next day. And it is so valuable as a teacher, and the kids loved it as well.
That's awesome. I love that you included your kids with that as well.
Yeah, so I suppose what I would say is our family has 3 kids under 3, so it's a really busy house. And so I think one thing that EdTechTeam does really well is do adult learning. The pacing was convenient because there's a new session every 2 weeks, and so you could do it in the micro chunks of time that you can find during lunch or before school or after the kids go down. But there's enough freedom where if I can make it work with how busy I am at work and at home, literally any teacher can make it work. For what it's worth.
Yeah, no, totally. And that's our goal. We want to make it possible for all educators to, you know, take this at their own time and find the time that works best for them. So thinking back on your experience with the Teacher Leader Certificate program, what was your biggest takeaway from the program? I don't know if you guys want to go in the same order. Pam, do you have something to start with?
Yeah, sure, for sure. So it just so happened that I am working on kind of designing my own innovation professional development framework for those teachers that I work with. And I had the framework laid out, you know, before I took the course. But as I was taking the course, I really appreciated the way Dominique and Tracy had everything laid out, and it was clear to understand. They let us make our learning visible in a bunch of different ways. And the networking that I had with other educators was super powerful. And there wasn't just, not just, there, I mean, there was classroom teachers, there's administrators, there's coaches. So I got to interact with everybody in education. And it was, I don't know, it was really helpful for me to see things from their perspective, especially from their posts.
Can I jump in real quick too, Pam, and just share that, I mean, we were one of our biggest goals was definitely to make sure that this was, even though you're learning at your house by yourself, we don't want you to be alone. That this really is a cohort that's going to connect you to other educators that are passionate like you are around the world, from different countries, from different states, and it really allows you then to get that global perspective on education and to hopefully start creating lessons with someone in another state or another country. In the first unit on global collaboration and community, you do have to reach out and figure out how can we create a lesson together? What kind of thing can we do together? So really it is about those connections and making those connections at the beginning and then maintaining them throughout the rest of the cohort, for sure.
Which was awesome.
Great.
Yeah, those were so valuable. And for me, I think the biggest takeaway is that I'm just a more blended teacher now. So I just reached out to a local person at a biological station because we were doing a water cycle unit and it's not my strongest suit. So she actually came in and helped me devise a hyperdoc, and we developed this lesson, and then we did about, and it was just my comfort zone, collaborate with others. And I took risks, like for the final project, we had water running through the water cycle, which I never would have done, but the other person is like, no, they can totally do this. So it taught me to take risks and be more blended in my learning and my teaching, and it was a lot of fun.
Thank you. So I think I kind of, I'm cheating. I kind of have two greatest takeaways. I think my first one is the content that we went through. I felt particularly inspired by the project-based learning component in the flipped learning session. And during the project-based learning, my eyes were like opened up to this authentic learning experience for kids where it gets to be more student-centered and they get to dive deeper into what they really care about. And it just seemed like such a great pedagogical approach to impact students that I think that I'd known about project-based learning, but it was just kind of illuminated for me how valuable it could be in my classroom, in my setting. And then the other thing that inspired me was the content delivery model. I think EdTechTeam did a great job of curating a resource that had a lot of different avenues that I could pursue, and they differentiated levels at which I could pursue the content based on what I perceived, what I kind of self-assessed my ability as, or what my, interests were. I could go as deep as I wanted. And so it kind of personalized my learning for me. They kind of modeled a student-centered approach to learning. And I found that tremendously valuable because in the moments when I couldn't go to sleep and I wanted to stay up and learn more and dive deeper and go down the rabbit hole. I think someone mentioned like give a mouse a muffin. I had that in every session. There were these times when I'd get on one tangent and just kind of keep going. But I could. It was personalized to me. And then if there's other things that I'd already knew or I wasn't as interested in or I didn't feel like it applied directly to me, I didn't have to go as deep to make it valuable.
Can I jump in there too about that? Ryan, I was thinking the same thing because when we were given the list of resources that were curated for us, it was like so awesome to know like, oh, okay, I can go through this list and say, like you said, either it's not relevant to me or maybe not applicable, or I know that resource already, but there's still other resources for me to choose from, which was really helpful and not just like, it wasn't like, here's one tool and you have to use it. And the voice and choice, I guess, is what I'm trying to say was really beneficial for me.
right?
Yeah, and the other, did you guys find that like on Sunday night when I would say, okay, I'm going to give myself a break and I'm not going to look at my email, and then it'd be like, oh, I went in, and then I would click on it and I'd start the set and I was like, no, I was going to give myself a break, and then you'd stay up late on Sunday night. So
Yes.
the resources are that good that you cannot wait to click on it to see where it's going to take you.
Yeah. And how other people use them too. Like that really like got me jazzed up to be like, oh wow, I never thought about using that resource in that way.
Yeah, and that's awesome. I'm so glad you guys all shared all that, because that's what the cohort model looks like. You're all sharing resources with each other and learning from each other. And like Ryan, I loved how you said, if you're interested in something, you can really dive deep in that area. And maybe the stuff that doesn't apply to you as much, you don't have to dig as deep into that. But the whole idea is exactly like you said, you can apply this with your students. And so hopefully we're trying to model this whole environment that you can then take with your students and change what's happening in the classroom. So we have another question just to make sure we're not missing anything. Is there anything else that you want to share about the Teacher Leader Certificate? Anything else that you think people might want to know who are thinking about taking this?
I love that you kind of have the resources forever. So, you know, it wasn't like you take the course and then if you didn't take enough notes or something, you don't get the resources or you forget everything you learned. I really love that, you know, I kind of, bookmark stuff and save stuff, and I can go back and look at all those resources, especially like over the summer. I have a little more time and figure out how I can use them in a different way, or dig a little deeper into a resource that I didn't have time to dig into, or I didn't choose to use as part of one of my projects.
Yeah,
I'm just evangelist, obviously. It's an awesome program to get into.
And I second that. If you're thinking about taking this, just bookmark all your resources. And I didn't catch on till the end, and then I actually made bookmarks with our 6 courses that we took. But the resources will literally like blow your mind. You will be amazed at it. Yeah, you need to do it. And I've been teaching for 19 years and I feel like a first-year teacher. And that's what I think the best thing I took away from it.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, I suppose I would give everyone a fair warning. Like, if you take this cohort, it's going to tremendously impact your teaching. Like, you're going to be really busy doing extra work and being passionate about your teaching. And it's probably not designed for people that are just content to do what they've always done. It's like such a change agent. And so it's easy to get caught up in it. And it's great. I mean, it's illuminating to what great teaching can be.
And it's for everybody too. Like that's the coolest thing, right? Anybody can do this. It's even if you are kind of feeling a little content, go for it. Try something new. It's a self-paced course, right? And you have the content available to you, and you have a ton of people that are willing to help you within the cohort as well. So.
Awesome. And speaking of the cohort, we do have an overview of the current cohort. I'm not sure if Tracy, if you're still there, but we currently have 45 teachers signed up for the cohort starting in June. We'd love to get more, but they represent 10 different US states, 4 different countries. We have people in elementary, middle, and high school, special education, tech coaches, media specialists, and math teachers. So just like the 3 guests that we have with us today, they represent all sorts of positions at the school and all different levels. And I don't know, as you guys were working with your cohort, did you find that you were working with others in different areas of the school? Like I know we have a 5th grade teacher, Pam, you're a tech person.
Yeah.
How did that go working with other people from different areas or different backgrounds perhaps?
Well, I think it was really helpful that Dominique, you and Tracy set up like our Slack channel for our communication purposes. I liked how you had the certain channel. Well, you had one channel for all of us to kind of jump into and talk and communicate, and then you helped us steer the conversations into maybe, I think it was elementary, high school and us other people. So that helped me connect with people who actually I found a few people from around the state, just up in Denver, just an hour away, who we still talk about what we're going to do and how we're going to collaborate. But then I also really appreciated talking, to the high school teachers, elementary teachers, and people that I don't normally get a chance to talk to as much as I want to. And there was even administrators in there too, who I think were kind of had their minds blown by the capacity of what kids could do in the classroom. And I really commend those administrators for taking time to do this course and get in at the level that the educators are at.
Yeah, and my favorite, I ended up with collaborating with a librarian, which was so nice because there were resource and copyright questions and things that I had no idea. And he had a totally different perspective on it. And another one, I collaborated with an art teacher, and we literally shared our screens, and I helped her redesign a slide, and and seeing it from start to finish was just really, really fun. And then to go in and tell the kids that you had homework on the weekend and this is what you did, and I could show them the first slide to the last slide. That was very impactful for me.
Wasn't it fun just geeking out with people too, on a tool or something that you're super passionate about? And then
yeah, nobody else gets it, but you two do,
Pam, I'm glad you just mentioned that, because one of the questions we had on our feed right now is, what sort of tools did you use in the course? So can you guys think of a tool, maybe a new tool or something you shared with others?
Yeah, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Did I jump back in? Okay, awesome. Sorry about that. Not sure what happened. I would love to start that. So we said Course Builder was one, that's where the content for the course is. And then the course communication, most of your communication between the cohort members is on Slack. So we set up a Slack channel, and there are a bunch of different channels within it that people can create: middle school, high school, special education. So those are a couple of the main tools. You'll also be using a lot of Google tools, a lot of Google Docs and slideshows, and creating a Google site if you want to share your final learning. That is one piece. I know Pam said that we make you have your learning be visual, and that is through some kind of digital portfolio, whether you do it in Google Sites or a different tool of your choice. So those are a couple of the tools just in the back end, but do you guys want to share some of the other tools that you maybe learned about?
I can start. One tool that wasn't necessarily new, but I definitely grew with was Twitter, my PLN. I'm now interacting. My cohort is over, but I'm still interacting with all my peers from this cohort on Twitter daily. So it's definitely impacted me in using that tool. It's empowered it for sure.
I was going to say that Flipgrid that we used for video reflection. That was, there's so many tools, obviously. So the fact that these were all curated for us, and we could kind of focus on just those tools, was really helpful. And I'm actually using Flipgrid in my professional development too, for people to use. And then the other tool, I think I was late to the boat on this one, but Edpuzzle, the tool where you can kind of insert learning. Insert learning, that was the other one. Insert questions into a video for kids or your learners. That was really cool. And insert learning, that was my favorite one. My mind was blown, where you could take, and help me out, cohort members, you could insert questions and quizzes and annotate over anything on the internet, right? Any web page?
Yep, yeah. Any web page. Add a video, add notes, highlight.
Yeah, I even tweeted them, and I was like, where have you been all my life?
Yeah, and just that first activity that you had us do with the introduction video on WeVideo, I had not used it. We have it on our Google Apps, and I haven't used it. And So I showed the kids my video, and my voice was really soft and the music was really loud, and they like critiqued it. And they're like, Mrs. Emsley, you should have talked louder. And, you know, so then I said, okay, well, if it's that easy, let's try it. So then I had my kids create a video, and so we all kind of learned together. And that was a really fun tool that I just hadn't dived into yet.
And then putting it on the map too, right? Didn't we put those videos on the map? That was really powerful to see where everyone was kind of from, and that was cool.
And that's been a game changer for me, is using the Google Map. And actually with the water cycle unit, we had the kids pick places around the world, and they had to insert pictures and tell us what part of the water cycle was happening. And now we have this global water cycle going on.
That's super cool, Shelly.
That's awesome. Any other questions that have come in, Dominique?
Yeah, we have a few questions. Is there any flexibility with the timing of the course requirements if there's a summer vacation planned?
I would say yes, definitely. You have a full 2 weeks, so you can be very flexible within those 2 weeks to get your work done when you want to. If you're going to be gone for a whole 2 weeks and miss one of the courses, then just email Dominique and I and let us know if you would like to. We'll probably have you catch up on the backside, either skip that unit and do it at the very end, or just work through 2 units in one 2 week time period. But we're very flexible. We understand that it's summer and that you should travel and have fun while you can, and that you should go places where you're not connected or you can't do stuff as well. So we're very flexible with that. One thing I do want to say with the timing too that we didn't mention before was each course does have some kind of hangout on air where you'll be not required at that time, but where you'll have to watch it at some point, whether you can join us live or you watch the recording. But we bring in an expert on that topic, either from the EdTech team or from the tech world, or from, if we're talking about learning spaces, we bring in a learning spaces expert to share their expertise with all of you and let you answer questions or ask questions and get more information from them as well.
All right, we have another question. Is it possible to start the June cohort if you won't have a class at that time, like from June 30th through September 8th?
Yes, definitely. You can start that cohort. You can do all of this. You'll be building lessons. It's a little bit different in the summer, just for North America. It's summer in North America, but not all around the world. If you don't have a class at that point, you'll be creating lessons that you can use, and you might have to just send, have somebody, a friend, fill out one of your lessons or forms if you're creating something to get some data. But you can do it definitely at any time, and it doesn't matter if it's summer and you don't have a group of students at that particular minute.
Awesome. Another question that just came in. Using the Learn tools, does your class or computer ratio need to be 1-to-1?
Absolutely not. Definitely not. And I would love to hear feedback also from the panel on this one, but we built it as something that you can be creative in how you're going to integrate technology. And it's not only about technology, it's about best learning practices. And you do not need to be 1-to-1. Hopefully you do have a couple devices for your students in the classroom, but you do not need to be 1-to-1.
I actually, if I can jump in real quick, I actually think that some of the units maybe could help you figure out how you can navigate that world of not having enough devices. And correct me if I'm wrong, Ryan and Shelley, but I just found that as I was going through this, I was having ideas from some of my teachers that I work with that don't have 1-to-1 classrooms, or struggle to, you know, check out Chromebook carts or whatever is available in the building, but just kind of ideas for how to be creative to work in those environments. And definitely your cohort members, reaching out to them and asking them how they might handle a situation like yours where you don't have maybe equitable access to technology.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we only have 47 Chromebooks for all 165 kids at our school. So we're constantly, you know, borrowing and sharing. And like in Google Classroom, now that you can just assign to one person, we kind of did group leaders. And then it was assigned to them, and then they collaborated, because then you got the collaboration in there. So we got really creative, and we're definitely not one-to-one.
So my environment is one-to-one. We use technology a lot, and I would say a large portion of what I learned is technology is not dependent on technology. So things like project-based learning, it doesn't have to be based in technology. That can be very hands-on learning, or like redesigning my classroom. I can, that how you're affected by not being one-to-one or having to share resources could play a large role in how you design your classroom, things like that. So for what that's worth.
That's great. Thank you. Yeah, so you don't have to be one-to-one at all. Hopefully you do have some access to technology in your school. Any other questions come in, Dominique?
No, I haven't seen any others, and I just checked our Twitter feed as well. We are on Twitter if you kind of want to keep track of what's going on with EdTechTeam Online. Our hashtag, I have it on the screen there, Tracy, is EdTechTeam Online. And so throughout the entire experience or the courses, we have everybody tweeting what they're learning. And Pam already mentioned one of the times that she tweeted out the new tool that she couldn't believe she was living without before. And so, yeah, we like to share what we're learning. And so if you want to kind of see what's going on with EdTechTeam Online, please feel free to check out our Twitter feed. We do also have an online community on Google Plus with EdTechTeam Online. And that's another place that we share out different things we're learning, whether it's in the Teacher Leader Certificate program or with our just-in-time courses. So there's lots of different ways to stay connected, as everyone's mentioned, with the people you're learning with and just with the online community.
Awesome. And we want to make sure we're really thankful for you guys joining. If you do have further questions that didn't get answered, or you want to know more, or you need the syllabi for each of the courses before you sign up, if you email Tracy at EdTechTeam, I'll make sure to answer all of those questions for you guys. And just reach out with absolutely anything, because we'd love to help you. We also want you to know that we do have a early bird special or a friend special. If you sign up by Friday, you can get the early bird pricing that closed back in April. So if you use the promo code FRIEND, you can receive a discount on signing up for the courses between now and Friday. And that goes for either registering for the course by itself or registering for the course with the 6 graduate credits. So Pam, Ryan, and Shelley, we're so appreciative of you guys coming on and sharing your experience with the Teacher Leader Certificate. I want to say that I learned something from every single person that joins the cohort as well. So I thank you guys for all your sharing and finding new resources. And we're just really excited for this new cohort that will start on June 5th. And if you do sign up, you'll get some information about 1 week prior about how to get connected to the course and the steps that you need to start taking. Dominique, can you think of anything that we didn't share as we close?
Well, we actually just had a few questions come in right at the very end.
Great.
I was just answering Michelle. She asked if this course will help her earn a level 1 certification. And I said, well, we do cover some Google tools throughout the course. This isn't a program specifically geared towards your level 1 certification. I don't know, Tracy, if there's anything you want to add to that question.
No, this is going to build just your overall empowered and inspired tools as a teacher. It's really going to teach you how you can become a leader in your school. And there are other boot camps. Maybe look for boot camps in your area, because there are some boot camps. I don't know what area you live in, but we can also connect with you and let you know what kind of face-to-face boot camps we might have to help you with your level 1 certification.
Yeah, for sure. And then we had another question. Can someone speak a little bit more to the leadership component? Because everyone mentioned leading in your classroom. But Wendy's wondering if the expectation is to also spread this at your school site, or how did you feel that you were a teacher leader?
I can start with that.
Sure.
One I kind of have two thoughts. One, I'm the leader of my classroom, right? And so how I view my role as a teacher has changed. And so I think after the cohort, I'm much more challenged to the classroom as opposed to being this purveyor of knowledge to my students. And the other one is I can't help but be a teacher leader. I can't help but tell people about how transformative my experience was. I'm excited about it. I think, I'm leaving the cohort as kind of a raving advocate for the learning I did because I think it's just so impactful on my teaching. And so not that I feel like an obligation or anything like that. I just, I want to use these tools, and I want the people I work with to be excited about their teaching too. So.
I completely agree with you, Ryan. That's what I was going to say. It just kind of happens naturally. You become this evangelist of the course, but also I think it's really important that you understand that when you're taking these courses and these units, that you're just getting this depth of knowledge that maybe you've never had before, and I think that's super empowering as a teacher leader. That you really are understanding like things from teachers' perspectives and other educators' perspectives, so that you can go out with more confidence as a leader in your building or in your district or in your learning space.
Yeah, I agree. And I actually did the total geeky thing, and I wrote the word leader. And I was like, okay, so learn relevant strategies and you implement them immediately. Explore new tools and you step outside your comfort zone. You activate change. You design learning and your space with students at the center. And you have engaging activities. The collaboration will blow your mind. And rethink the way you teach. So that's what it means to be a leader in this class.
Awesome. I love that, Shelley. That's fantastic. What?
I said she needs to tweet that out.
I agree. I was going to say, yes, tweet that out for sure. That is really what we were trying to just empower you with the tools in your classroom and your school to make real change, to make learning different for students, to make it more engaging and more meaningful and more impactful, and to really inspire your students then to be learners as well. So that is really the focus of every course. And I love that, Shelley. So yeah, please tweet that out for us so we can share with everybody else about that as well.
I will. It's really long though. It's more than 140 characters.
You might have to do a picture in Canva, and then you can tweet out your picture.
There you go.
So, Tracy, we just had one other question come in. You had mentioned the cost of the credits. What's the cost of the cohort?
The cohort, if you sign up by Friday, you can get the $5.99 price. If you sign up after that, it will be $7.99 just for the courses. So then it's an additional $330 for the graduate credits, or $360.
Okay. And then one other question we had, is it too demanding to do this cohort this summer and attend a summit?
Not in my opinion. I think that they actually might complement each other really well. I think that while you're learning these skills in the cohort and then you go to a summit, you'll probably learn a little bit more, deepen that knowledge, practice a few more things, get excited about some new things. So not in my opinion. Pam or Ryan or Shelley, do you guys have any opinion about that?
I agree. I just think all your learning and your feelings will be affirmed if you do both, especially because the summit's so short and this is so long. I think that'll be just, yeah, like you said, a nice compliment.
Great.
I say go for it. Do it.
Yeah, I agree. One other thing is that EdTech team, I was on the track to try and, get more graduate credits to move lanes in my district. And so EdTech team also offers one graduate credit for attending the summit and doing a little learning exercise afterwards. So maybe that's a good way to get a 7th graduate credit this summer.
Ryan, thanks for bringing that up. That's very true. So you can get that extra graduate credit. You can get 7 for attending a summit. I will just point out too, if you feel like the teacher leader certificate is too much for you, that taking all of those different courses at one time is too much. We also have what are called just-in-time courses. So we have a whole menu of courses that are just 1 graduate credit, and they're just 15 hours. And you can choose those and pick them and see if you have the time, and you can definitely do them at your own pace. You don't have that 2-week time period with these courses. The teacher leader certificate does, because it's a cohort model. We're all working together, we're all staying together, we're collaborating, communicating. But these just-in-time courses do not have that time limit, that you can take as much time up to. Each of these courses are $149. So maybe that's an approachable way to start as well. Maybe just taking one course, seeing what Course Builder is like, seeing what it's like to take an online course with EdTechTeam, because online learning is very different than face-to-face learning. As well. And you know what, we've been on for almost 45 minutes, so hopefully you guys have gotten a little taste of the teacher leader certificate and what it's all about. We're really excited that you guys have joined us. Thank you so much. Once again, reach out to Tracy at EdTechTeam if you have any further questions, and I would love to answer them, or Dominique at edtechteam.com. You can we'd love to answer those questions. So once again, Pam and Ryan and Shelley, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate your feedback and your perspective, because I think it's a really good perspective for people to have cohort participants telling them, not just Dominique and I, who are obviously very passionate about this. So thank you everyone for joining us, and I hope you have either a great night or a great day, depending on where you are. So thanks.